what's up guys, it's Prince Charming. Today we're going to be checking out the 10 most dangerous prison inmates in the world. So it's going to be a very shocking list, so I hope you guys are ready to get your pants blown off today. So don't forget to drop a like on this video, hit that thumbs up button for me right now. Subscribe and turn your post notifications on so you never miss a video. Go ahead and comment if you were to go to prison, what would it be for? Honestly, I think mine would be for, like, you know, trying to finesse. Tax evasion, all the finesses. Yeah, I wouldn't steal really, I'll just be finessing. But enough of me talking, let's go ahead and check out the most dangerous prison inmates in the world. Hope you guys enjoy the video.
Coming in at number 10, we have the real Pennywise.
Ooh!
We all know the hit book, miniseries, and now movie It. It is about a clown that goes around scaring kids
I hate
and
this
taking
scary
their
movie.
lives.
It's so
this
scary.
is good for a fright, but it's all fiction, right? Well, not exactly, because back in the 1980s, which is when the It movie was set, there was a real-life version of Pennywise. The guy was called John Wayne Gacy, and he was, on the surface, a normal husband and father, but he had a crazy secret life. He began to dress up as a character he called Pogo the Clown. Pogo was supposed to be like Bozo, but as I said, this guy's more like Pennywise. That is because he would volunteer at children's parties. During this time, he would take as many kids as possible and then take their lives.
Oh my
gosh!
gosh!
People in his crawl space inside his house and in a nearby river. He's gone down as one of the most scary and most dangerous criminals to ever exist. Luckily, he's locked up behind bars today, but this still doesn't change how terrifying he really is. I'm pretty sure this guy's put a lot of people off clowns forever.
Oh, why a real clown? Why clowns? I just hate clowns. I don't do clowns. I don't understand why you want to dress up like a child's mascot and you want to kill children. Choose one profession. Come on.
Next up is Lobster Boy. This criminal is very odd and has lived one of the most odd lives ever lived.
Does he really look like
Brady
this?
Franklin Styles Jr. He was nicknamed Lobster Boy thanks to a condition that's common in his family. He went into the carnival at the age of 7 as there weren't many things he could do thanks to his hands. He later got married to another carnival performer, but as he aged, he became angry
Both
and
his
drank
mom
way
and
too
dad?
much, which caused him to turn evil. He was horrible to his wife and 4 kids, 2 of which had hands like he did. When one of his kids without the odd hands grew up and got married, he became jealous and shot her husband in the face. He went to prison but was released years later. He then began to say he would do the same thing he did to his kid's husband to his wife, as she'd got remarried when he was locked up. But his wife didn't want to take any chances, so she paid another carnival worker $1,500 to take him out. Nobody came to his funeral, and on his grave was his name and 2 praying hands. Wow, those hands just add insult to injury.
How are you gonna be a lobster but you're trying to kill people just because they're not deformed? Like, come on, that's your own daughter's husband. How can you kill him?
Next up is Eyeball Man. This is not only one of the scariest
This
and
guy is
most
not
dangerous criminals,
sane.
but he's also one of the scariest looking men on this planet. In 2012, he was arrested for shooting a cop in a bathroom argument. Now that's bad enough, but that isn't what brought him media attention. What brought him all this attention was the scary tattoos he had all over his face. He's obsessed with tattoos and has over 20 just on his face. But his face isn't the only thing.
The eyeball is...
He also has a tattooed black eyeball, which is why many people call him Eyeball Man.
Oh my
His real name is
gosh.
Jason Barnum, and he is one scary looking guy. From his Facebook photos, we can also see this guy has tattoos all over his entire body. Not only that, he's got a giant skull tattoo on the top of his head, so maybe he should be called Skull Man instead. This guy looks so scary, even if he hadn't committed a crime, I think he'd still make this list. I know you shouldn't normally judge a book by its cover, but perhaps this guy is an exception.
Guys, just looking at this guy, this is not anybody I ever want to be on like a abandoned alley or like a dark alley with. His eye is tattooed. He clearly isn't right in the head. Who does that voluntarily?
Coming up next is the Red Ripper. This guy's nickname is the Red Ripper. It's a parody of Jack the Ripper, who took the lives of hundreds of women in England many years ago. And the red part is because this guy's from Rostov in the Soviet Union, which is now Russia. His real name is Andrei Chikatilo, and he took the lives of over 52 women and children over a span of 12 years.
What?
He was a suspect in many crimes for many years and was in and out of jail, but there was never enough evidence to convict him of anything serious.
He looks like
Finally,
Voldemort.
after a police snare in 1990, he was caught and confessed to taking 36 people's lives. But this was found to be an understatement, and he was convicted of doing this to 52 people in 1992. However, it seems the Russian police wanted him to get some karma, so they took his life as a punishment. I'm not trying to make fun of anyone's appearances here either, but this guy looks seriously creepy as well. He just looks like a typical James Bond villain, don't you think?
If y'all really wanted to punish him, you would have sent him to prison for 100 years and made him live out that term. Because death is the easy way in the situation. They much rather choose death than be in prison for years and years on end.
Next up is Monster.
You look like
there's a
one.
very good reason I'm calling this woman a monster. That's because she is so evil it's Hollywood worthy. A movie was made about her and her crimes, and Charlize Theron won many awards for playing her in the movie Monster. Her real name is Aileen Wuornos, and she's one of the only women on this list. But don't worry, ladies.
Oh my
this is a good
gosh!
thing, as she is awful.
She looks
took the lives
crazy.
of 7 men between the years 1989 and 1990.
She a feminist?
She unfortunately did have a pretty rough childhood, but that still didn't stop people from being seriously angry when her crimes came to light in 1991. She was arrested and confessed to everything 4 days later. She remained in jail for about 11 more years until she passed away herself thanks to the jury vote. In court, she was acting crazy and freaked out all the jurors and even the judge. The reason she got such a harsh sentence is because she showed absolutely no remorse and said she would happily do it all again.
Bro, lock her in jail, throw away the key. We don't need the key anymore. Literally, like, throw it over the Eiffel Tower or something, because we don't need that key. She needs to stay in jail.
Next up is game show contestant.
But she's dead, clearly.
This is not only one of the most scary and dangerous men ever, but one of the creepiest. His name is Rodney Alcala, and he took the lives of 5
He looks
women
like Howard
in
Stern.
the 1970s. But he subsequently admitted to doing this 34 more times. And now cops believe he's done this more than 140 times across the USA after more investigations. But the creepy thing about this guy that he will always be remembered for is appearing on a game show called The Dating Game. And believe it or not, he actually won. He was introduced by the host as a photographer, which is creepy as he would lure his victims, who were mainly models, to him by saying this. In the show, the woman would ask questions to a bunch of guys to determine which guy was the best to go out with.
He was on the game show.
One of the women named Cheryl's question said, "What's the best time?" He replied, "Nighttime, because night is the only time there is, and night is when things really get good." There were more creepy answers to questions I won't even get into. But in the end, she said he was too creepy to go out with despite him winning. Talk about good judgment. Well done, Cheryl. You quite literally dodged a bullet.
That is insane. She literally dodged a bullet. She could have went on a date with a future serial killer. He was probably a serial killer back then. Who knows?
Next up is Underwear Strangler. Yeah, as you can tell by this guy's name, he is seriously strange. This guy's real name is Johann Unkundwagen, but he went as Jack. He's Austrian, and ever since his youth, he was in and out of jail for petty theft and things like that. But in 1974, he changed for the worse. He strangled a woman with her own bra until she passed. He then did this to around 40 more women, and then moved to LA where he did it some more. He got caught, but was somehow freed from prison, but then later went on to do it 4 more times. Finally, the LAPD stopped him, and he was given a life sentence. But the creepy thing about this guy is he was writing for magazines during all this, and people didn't even know it was him writing. Imagine your favorite comics doing something like this. I don't know about you, but that would really freak me out. And even after he went to jail, he was still writing in his cell. He was in prison for around 4 years, but then chose to take his own life by a similar method he used on other people. I guess that's karma for you.
I think the most craziest part is that there could be like a killer or murderer and we have no idea. Like somebody can be a low-key psychopath and we just have no idea because they keep it so secretive.
Next up is Human Plague. This is a nickname nobody wants to have, unless perhaps you're Mary Malone. This woman holds the all-time record for taking the most lives accidentally. She was a cook in New York to wealthy families and in some offices
Typhoid
too,
Mary?
but everywhere she went, a terrible scenario seemed to play out. Within 2 weeks of any place she became a cook at, all of the residents or workers developed serious conditions. And as healthcare back then wasn't so great, a huge amount of people ended up passing away. She was investigated by the police many times as they spotted a very obvious pattern of this happening over 20 times. But Mary denied doing anything to the food and said it was all one big coincidence. Well, it turned out Mary herself was very ill. She knew this and caused all the food to become bad and give others illnesses. She claimed she had no idea about it. She was treated and then lived freely outside of jail. And the police actually acted like she was a victim because she was sick. But in a diary entry found decades later, she revealed she knew about her condition the entire time. Watch out for your lunch, ladies, kids.
So she knew the whole time, but yet she was still killing these people. That's what I'm talking about, man. Y'all be shaking hands with people, y'all don't even know where they be putting it. If you don't, get away from me with that.
Next up is BTK. This guy's real name is Dennis Schrader, but the authorities and the media called him BTK.
Omarion?
I'm not gonna go into what that means, but suffice to say, it ain't nice. Between 1974 and 1991, he took the lives of at least 10 people in Kansas, USA. Much like the Zodiac, he would taunt and tease them the police with letters
What's in
mocking him for
Kansas?
not being able
Dorothy?
to catch him. But these letters actually led to his eventual arrest in 2005. But the kicker is how they found out the BTK was Dennis. He sent them a floppy disk with a message making fun of the police who couldn't catch him. But from that, they extracted a deleted file about his church, as he was an avid member, surprisingly. They then used DNA evidence of him on the floppy disk and at the church, and finally tracked him down and arrested him.
Yep,
he
got
was
him.
found guilty of 10 people's passings and was sentenced to jail time in 2005. And this criminal is still behind bars today. But don't worry, the judge says he's never coming out.
That's what you get. You're taunting to police that they couldn't catch you, and then they caught you. How's that for karma?
Next up is Hands On. This man is famous as he took over 5,000 lives just by
Hands on,
using his
hands off.
hands, hence the nickname Hands On. His real name was Sol Fiklar, and he was around during the Ottoman Empire.
What kind
He
of
took
hat
an
is
average of 4
that?
lives per day for 5 years. But how did he do it with his bare hands?
4 lives per
well,
day?
It was all by strangling. Believe it or not, he did this to every person, and it worked every time. He was either very strong or very skilled, but he's definitely a madman. This one is pretty historic, going all the way back to the Ottoman Empire, but there were terrible people back then too, I guess. He had no motive, or at least no known motive, and historians say he would make an amazing athlete today. But to top it all off, he actually worked for the ruler of the Ottoman Empire at the time and was their royal gardener. But he never went after the ruler or anyone of much importance. Maybe that's one tangle he knew he wouldn't have won.
That was it for that video, guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. So that was the most dangerous prison inmates in the world, and let me just say, most of the people on the list I don't want to tangle with. Especially the crazy eyeball dude. That's somebody I never want to meet, ever. I don't want to see him in my dreams. I don't want to see him down the street. I don't want to see him at Starbucks. I never want to see him. I can go my whole life without seeing him and die happy. But don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on this video if you want to reply from yours truly, Prince Charming. My name is Prince Holcomb. Stay charming, my friends.